Hey guys, Johnny here, and in today's video, we're going to go over the 6 types of budgeting methods, which one you could be using, and I'm going to show you some that you may have never heard of. So there are 6 types of budgeting methods, and when it comes to how to approach budgeting, there are options for everybody. So here are some popular methods that I either have used personally, got started using, or will be using in the future possibly. So the first method is the 50-30-20 method, and this is probably the one that is most common and most popular across the board. Developed by Senator Elizabeth Warren, this budgeting method allocates 50% of your income to your needs and necessities, 30% to your wants and things that you would like to have, and 20% toward building up savings and paying down debt. Now, this can be something that's very simple to use and start, which is why it's a great method for beginners. Now, the second method would be the zero budgeting based method or zero based budgeting. Now, with zero based budgeting, you allocate all of your income so that your income minus your expenses equals $0. Now, that means for every dollar that comes in, it has a specific place or function that it's going to be used for. Now, this can also be a great method to use as far as beginner budget. If you make X amount of dollars, then you have to use all of that money in order to get a zero at the end of the month. No money should be left over because you should be putting it into all the categories such as necessities, wants, needs, savings, debt, stuff like that. Now, I have used the zero-based budget before, and I can tell you it is a little bit harder to stick to, especially if you have a lot of expenses and variables that go up and down every month, like such as utilities and gas and groceries. I couldn't see myself spending $100 on groceries that I did, say even a year ago, because it wouldn't get me as much food as it does today. So you should always definitely adjust your budget according to inflation and other prices. Now, method number 3 is the envelope method. Now, this was popularized by Dave Ramsey, and this method uses cash and envelopes to control spending. Each spending category has an envelope, and once the money is gone, you stop spending. Now, this kind of is exactly like the zero-based budgeting, because if you put all of your money into these variety or category of envelopes, once the envelope is exhausted and has no more money, then you cannot spend anything else from that category. Say it was a grocery category or it was a gas category. That would be envelope method. Now, some people do this because they don't have bank accounts or credit cards or debit cards, so they're able to take their money, cash their checks or whatever it is, get cash, and then put the cash into envelopes. It could be a great way to save up for rent. If you make daily or weekly money, putting money into an envelope to save it for rent or utilities is a good method. I have done this once or twice before when I was younger, but once I moved into a more debit credit revolving system that I use, then the envelope method no longer worked because I don't carry a lot of cash. Moving on, we are going to the fourth method. So the fourth method would be the flexible budgeting method. Now, with a flexible budget, you reallocate your income and expenses as they change. This allows more flexibility, but it takes more time to manage. Now, flexible budgeting, I feel like, is something that, maybe most Americans do because we don't necessarily have a good system in place. We kind of just go with it, right? Oh, I made X amount of dollars. It's a little bit less than I made last month, so we have to adjust the schedule down or the budget down so that way we can make sure we have money for everything we need. Whereas if the flexible budget, say you make more income in the in a month, you make more income, so then you would adjust that income, but you would also adjust your expenses to go up with that income. Maybe you add on another subscription service, or maybe you are going to the grocery store more or need gas more because you're traveling more because now you have more money to do things. That would be a flexible budget. Now, moving on to budget number 5 would be the static budget or static budgeting. Now, static budgeting is a great way for you to keep your budget the same. So as the name indicates, as a static budget stays the same even though your income increases. So I might make an extra $1,000 a month, but my expenses did not get any higher than, say, $1,000 or $2,000 a month, right? It did not increase with the income. Now, the only way a static budget would work is if your income increases. If your income decreases, then you would have to go back to a flexible budget. A static budget is when it stays the same when your income increases. That's it. If it does decrease, you won't be able to maintain that standard of living, and then you would have to decrease your expenses even further. Now, if you like this video, smash the thumbs up for me. It helps YouTube make sure that these videos are good. And if you like this video, smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. So, last but not least is the 80-20 rule. Now, I believe this one is just as popular and probably just as used or even used more than the standard 50-30-20 budget. The 80-20 budget focuses on setting aside 20% of your income for savings. Now, the other 80% is for everything else. So they're going to combine the 50%, the 30%, and even half of the 20% for savings and debt from the 50-30-20 rule. And they're just going to make you do 20% savings. So you're going to be saving more. Definitely, right? 20% of your income is more than trying to half 20% to savings and 20% to debt. So that'd be 10 and 10. Which is why 80-20 is a great way to jumpstart anybody looking to increase their savings and may not have a lot of debt. They could live off of 80% of their income. Now, I believe the 80-20 budget is a good starting point since it might be your goal to help build up your savings account, right? Maybe build up your emergency fund and start getting some good investments because you have money saved. Now, the 50-30-20 budget is another beginner-friendly budget option since it helps you focus on what's important, right? Covering essential expenses, all your needs and necessities, while also being able to have 30% to wants so you don't feel like you're budgeting too much. You get to still have a little bit of a lifestyle and go out to eat and go to the movies if that's what you like to do and buy Starbucks. And it also allows you 20% to save and pay debt. But 20% between saving and debt would be 10 debt, 10 savings. So really, I believe the 50-30-20 rule should probably be more like the 50-30-10-10 rule. Anyways, I think both of those budgets are great places for any beginner to start budgeting and saving their money, because once you have money saved, then you could actually start putting it into investing, and then you could start compounding that money by compound interest through saving and investing. And if you want to watch a video on compound interest, there's a link below, and you could also check out in my playlists. I made a video specifically on compound interest. All in all, though, any budget method can work, but it might take some experimenting to find the right one for you. Try all of them if you need to. one at a time, once per month, or try one every 6 months. Find one that sticks and works for you personally with your income and your expenses. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.